All right, so to stay in the focus of today's lesson, it's so easy to just go off on a tangent and say, let's play a bunch of long patterns here. That's not what this lesson is about. I am very tempted to do that. The Locrian mode would be, for instance, if you were in the key of C here, the Lydian mode, and then you went to the F. Now, of course, everybody knows you can play the F from there. But you can also play the long pattern 4, 5, 6, which is S1, C4, XL. Okay, the 4 is that 4 note, the C is the C box. We're giving that C box, like some credit for having the F, the 4th within it. So it's the 4th of that C. Okay, and here is the root of that E. We just don't have the 7th there because the fret nut's there. Okay, so 4, 5, 6, it would be just, so you'd be in the C thing here. And then that would be your Lydian. Okay, with the B natural. And the root would be the same thing. Okay, so the long patterns have given us the 2 extra modes. We're going to learn about that. The focus of today's lesson, okay, is to learn about which notes are we going to select from those particular string shapes. S1 means 1 string. That's just this guy right here. That is this guy. Get a line, draw it. There's 1 string shape, the S1 ERXL. That's a string shape. Okay, that's what we're going to learn about. Which one of these notes, 2 of them or 3 of them, do we press in that 1 string shape in diatonic, pentatonic, tritonic majors, and diatonic, pentatonic, and tritonic minors, and half diminished pentatonic and half diminished tritonic. Of course, there's pentatonic minors. There's diatonic minors. There's diatonic half diminished, and there's regular diatonic majors. And in each one of them, for the diatonic major, you would just start on the Ionian. Okay, for pentatonic major, you would play the pentatonic, start wherever you're going to do that. But what I'm talking about is for the minors, in diatonic, we start on the minor note that we want to start on. So let's say Phrygian, and follow that diatonic major up from that Phrygian third. You want to do Dorian. Okay, you want to do Aeolian. Similarly, with half diminished, we would do start the diatonic scale from the 7. Okay, now I have a little more theory behind how I derived a pentatonic half diminished. That's the pentatonic half diminished. The relative minor half diminished is just start on the A and follow the C pentatonic scale. The relative minor pentatonic scale. Same thing with the D, with the Dorian pentatonic, but we're not going to do the same Dorian like this. We're not going to go. We're going to go and with the Phrygian. Okay, so you just start on that pentatonic. Start on the note you want to start it on, the minor note, and just follow the pentatonic scale from there of the major key that it is the relative minor of. So that's all getting once again off onto a tangent here. Let's talk about what's going on with this chart and how it goes. So this is the start of the show, this big giant thing here, and we also have the string shaped circle for this. So you notice we have an AA slide here, and that means we have an A is a 5/6, and then it goes up to another 5, 6. So it's just kind of doing a little thing, a long pattern right there in between it. So we do have our circle of string shape fifths. This is the circle of long and short patterns fifths with a octave shortcut. Yeah, that's, I just put it there because it's relevant. But let's look at it. This is the star of the show right here. Okay, now remember, this is a directive here. Tuning third between G and B string can be anywhere. That's why we stack them in P4 tuning. This is all P4 tuning. Any root you see is going to have a 4 above it. Any 2 you see is going to have a 5 above it. Any 3 you see is going to have a 6 above it. Any 4 you see is going to have what? Okay, well, it's an augmented fourth there. Half step higher because we're not going into the key of the fourth. We're going into the Lydian fourth. So these are our string shapes. Okay, we are familiar with the short string shapes. D's 2, 3, 4, G's 6, 7 root, C's 3, 4, 5, E's 7 root 2, and A is 5, 6. Let's see how they are on the guitar. So let's just start with the D. I can go lower than the E because I'm down tuned. Okay. So I can do the D from here. D is 2, 3, 4. Okay, G is 6, 7 root. Okay, C is going in fourths now. C is 3, 4, 5. E is 7 root 2. And A is 5, 6. Now going up in caged, remember, caged starts C-A-G-E-D. So if you start on D, you're going to start the word caged again. So it's D to C, starting word cage again, to A, to G, to E. These are string shapes, and then 7 root 2, and then E goes to D again. And then way up here is 3, 4, 5 is C again. So these are the string shapes, but now we add these new string shapes, the 4, 5, 6, the root 2, 3, and the 5, 6, 7. They're going to be considered individuals. Individual string shapes. They stack up like this. And by the way, you'll see these stacking up exactly mostly because they're used on the bottom. And by the bottom, I mean the lower string. Some people call that string 6. I call it like string 1. So let's say we're going to do a 5, 6, 7 pattern. It's like 5, 6, 7. Then on top of that's root 2, 3. Then 4, 5, 6. Okay, they're mostly going to stack up, but if they don't, they have to follow the tuning warp. So when we get to the transition between the G string and the B string, we have to move everything from the B string and the top E string up 1 fret. So let's say we started the pattern here. Now we can't go like this. Now we're going to start here. And then move it up. Okay, if we start from down here, now only the top string has to be moved up. See, it's not, if we just play it. Okay, so we have to hit the tuning warp. That's why everything's in P4 tuning here. So these are the string shapes. This is the star of the show right here. And we're going to see how that changes as we go through the major diatonic, the major pentatonic, and the major triads. Let's just do a quick review of the short pattern stacks. So for the short pattern stacks we have 2, 3, 4. I just happen to stack it from D, but you can stack it from anywhere. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root. Okay, that's stacking it from, they're all just reference to that D shape because that's our two major S